How cola, brothers and sisters. Welcome to AquaBrain TV. On this show, we chat snow skating with Adam Cooper. Coming to us from the Cascade Mountains, Adam Cooper and I took a few runs at Alpental last time I was up there and had a good old time. Adam, how are you, man?
Drew, I'm doing great, buddy. How are you doing?
Awesome. It's good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Last time,
you too. I like the haircut.
Thanks. Last time that we caught up, we were at Alpental.
Getting some nice lines on a nice day.
It was
really fun to have you up in the home valley.
All right, it was nice to be back for sure.
It's been a while.
So what was that? So that was one of the fingers, right? Is that what they?
Yeah, I think we were riding Ice Fallen, which is the center of the three steep runs coming off of Lower Mountain at Alpental.
Okay, and that one usually
Ice Fallen.
Ice Fallen.
Got a nice little kind of natural quarter pipe on the right side and a lot of places going down.
Isn't that the one that normally fills up with avalanche slide? Is that
they all do? But yeah, that one probably gets it the worst. Yeah,
it's a pretty.
They all do. They close the whole cat track that feeds it when it's really bad conditions.
Okay, yeah, because I remember. I mean, it's a pretty steep little run going in there.
Yeah, especially starting at the top, it gets real steep for a sec.
I remember back when I was doing a lot of snowboarding, that was my go-to. I used to float 360s off that cat track into that little chute, and man, it just takes off.
Still hitting it. Kids doing all kinds of stuff, 720s, getting crazy out there. Today's my birthday, man. I'm 53, so I'm entering my 4th year in the old man army.
Hey,
Alpental division.
Not bad. Now is that an average age? What do you think? Do you think
for snow skaters?
Yeah,
it's not too far off, right? I mean, I don't know if it is anymore. I think we're seeing kids out there on the webs.
It's true.
Getting it done in far and distant places. But yeah, the Northwest, it's still younger a little bit, especially, with riders like Adrian, the Rhino coming up around here locally. We've got to take our hats off and pass the torch rapidly. Well, actually, they kind of took the torch.
Is that? Yeah, I heard. Now, what did he? There was something about on one of these last episodes. Well, I gotta just tell you. So today is your birthday, but we're actually going to be airing this. So when you guys are seeing this is December 15th or later. So we're, hopefully on the mountain now. I mean, I don't know when does the pass?
It will be one way or another.
When does the pass usually open?
Yeah, early December, hopefully. Hopefully, occasionally Thanksgiving, but that's been about 10 years. But I'm ready. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
we had snow the other day. There's still a little snow outside. So.
All right. Okay. So it just needs to stick around.
It's coming.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So anyway, I just wanted to say that so people are. I mean, you can have more than one birthday.
Hey, they can wish me happy birthday on December 15th. I'll take it.
Nice. We try to make these a little bit timeless.
Every day is my birthday, man.
There you go.
Wake up. It's a good day.
I see that Boyd Hill board, and actually just in I think on the 8th of December was the interview with Bryce Rich, and we were actually talking about his custom, how you could have custom graphics on the board. Now, is that what we're looking at? Is that what you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bryce and Boyd Hill Snowskates. You can tell from the hat. But yeah, he did this for me last couple summers ago. But every summer he does a custom deal, right? You can put whatever you want on it. You look closely. Actually, I won't be able to get you an angle on that probably, but underneath the deck, my daughter drew these Alpental A's. They're all trippy. So there's 33 of those on the top of the underside of the deck because my boy Eddie Murray, my hero growing up, most of you might not know him, but check that guy out. Hall of Famer like nobody's business, number 33. So
now look at the
Alpental A's. That's my lucky board. But yeah, Bryce puts these together. You send them the graphics that you want on it. They'll help you lay them out, a little bit, depending on how complicated. And they'll send it back to you. I think I'm going to do another one here soon. But yeah, every summer open door. I think it's June's the custom month, so you get your stuff in, and I mean, it's a little more expensive, but I mean, that thing's great. Now, let me point out too, a very sweet deck right there from Caveman. You can only see the edge of it, but that thing's pretty cool. And Caveman makes a great deck. I know Adrian, who is actually my tenant now, living downstairs in the house.
Oh, really?
It's like the adopted son. He rides Caveman exclusively now, so solid deck.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I've actually got it's a surprise, so I haven't really been talking about it, but I do have something lined up with Caveman as well. So
Nice.
Good dude. Looking
Great
forward to
guy.
that for sure. And I just seeing stuff of him that he's posting. His work is incredible.
It's really nice. I've met him first at the what was it, 2010 or 2011, the first Snowskate summer. What do we call it? It was down at Windell's and up on Mount Hood.
That was
on 4th of July.
Yeah, that was the Open, I think. The Snowskate Open.
US Open. It was the US Open of
Yeah,
Snowskating.
Yeah, that's right.
2 years there at Windell's. What a time. Really
God, that
great
was
time.
fantastic.
That year we all went barefoot from the top to the bottom. So that was my introduction to him, was us riding barefoot down the mountain.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was there the first year that they did it, and I think I missed it the second year. And then, of course, because I was putting it off for the third year, and then they didn't do it. I was like, oh man. But yeah,
that was a bummer. I thought that would last forever, man.
Man,
I was thinking it would, because it was glorious. Why shouldn't it have?
I know.
I mean, it was getting bigger. The second year is bigger than the first.
And Tim Wendell was so gracious to have us put us up, and that
that man's done a lot of things for snow sports and building community and building good people. So I appreciate him a lot too.
So that's cool. You got Adrian around. You're gonna Ripper. I can't
keep up with him. I just hear his stories of glory at the bottom of the hill. I try, but man, he's gotten fantastic. And I mean, Alpental is a proven ground too. I mean, it's a great place to take your snow skate skills to the next level, because it is steep. The low mountain steep, top steeper. There's definitely places that you should not be on a snow skate, no fall zones, because I mean, all of us know you start sliding and it's a little steeper or icier than you wanted it to be.
Yeah,
you get sketchy real fast.
Yeah, and actually, I'll be full disclosure, I've actually been too scared to take it up chair one. So that's my I'll admit to that. My comfort level has not been there. And I thought, that when I met up with you, there was a chance I was going to do it, but I didn't want to ruin my weekend. So I was like,
I don't want to overcorrect here, but it's chair two. It's the upper mountain chair two at Alpental. But the best time to do it, really, I think, to get comfortable with it up there is to go up in the spring when it's soft and slushy in those last couple of weekends up there.
Gotcha.
Because then you're not going to slide forever, and B, if you do fall, it's soft.
That's really I'm embarrassed. I should have known it was chair two. God, I used to work that mountain. Come on.
You haven't lived here for a while, man.
Come on, people.
I'm just keeping it clear for everybody. All those out there.
I actually used to like working at the top of that chair. It was pretty cool because you had a view. You had this great view when it was
an amazing view.
When it was a good day.
Any mountain, any clear day is a great view from the top, right? Because you got turns below your feet. It's good times. Yeah. Good times.
Of course, when you're working, you're like, well, I'm stuck in here. So, but you get out for a run or two.
Right?
I don't know. That was so I grew up, man. Let's see. I think my first snowboard run was on what's the one it was Ski Acres at the time. I had a lesson on they just replaced it too. I can't think of the name. Anyway, they're on the little baby chair at Ski Acres. That was my first snowboard run. I don't know. They got the little green park. Help me out.
Greenhorn Acres.
Is it okay? That's the park. Well, what's that chair?
Holiday.
Okay. So that was where I first learned to snowboard and everything. So that was my home mountain. And then I actually ended up working at Central and in guest services, and then turned 18, dropped out of school and became a lift op.
Nice.
And then that summer, now I did end up graduating high school anyway.
Good to clarify that.
Long story, but
nothing wrong though.
But I wanted to be a ski bum there for the winter. And then that spring, I got asked to go over and work at Alpental, and man, I just fell in love with the people and the atmosphere, and it's just, you know,
it's pretty chill. I felt like at Alpental I could leave my kids on the hill and go ride with friends and stuff, and the community there would take care of them if something went wrong. I wouldn't do that at the other 3 base areas necessarily, because they're just a little closer to the freeway and just a little bit more, they're just not as personal, at least for me. High used to be, but it's getting a little more crowded. But I mean, that's the nice thing about up here, right? We got 4 base areas. Your pass works at all 4 of them. You know, the longest drive is from High to Alpental, and that's what, maybe 10 minutes on a, if you're driving the speed limit and going, you know, extra cautious. I mean, it can be a lot longer than that on a Saturday afternoon, but
well, and it used to be real nice when they had the shuttle running. I know they haven't had that for the last couple of years, but
yeah, COVID took that down for sure.
But that was nice. You just park, you know, I'd always park over because a good friend of mine, Jason Young, works over at in maintenance.
I know Jason,
So I knew a bunch of those guys and know a bunch of those guys over there that work there. So I always park kind of close to there. So I'd always start off at Central, but I always ended up over at Alpental, which was a nice thing about the bus. And then of course, Silver Fir is like, you know,
yeah, they got the best food at Silver Fir too.
No, do they?
Yeah. So man, I got a wall full of guitars and ukuleles, but I got a floor full of snow skates too that I'm just antsy to talk about.
Yeah, please let's talk about it. Enough about me. Kidding me.
Let me do this, because you know I'm looking at the floor and I see all these snow skates built by, you know, people I know, maybe a little less so directly at Lib, but you know, I've known a lot of the guys up there, and I mean, man, they birthed it all for us, right? So this is my original. So I got to tell a story about a little friend of mine named Brian Wilson. This is the same ski. You can tell it's pretty whoopied on. All the colors well faded. Nice little old new deck up there. This is the board that I kind of learned on. I actually got a Danny Cass. Started out on a little Danny Cass, which is now hanging on the wall with a couple other cool little Danny Casses. Showed up and was riding and met a couple guys quickly, including Adrian and his dad. Adrian was about a month away from his bar mitzvah.
Oh, wow.
So we all did that. That was the first and I think last all snow skate torchlight parade that evening, which I participated in about, 3 weeks into snow skating. But they were super friendly, told me about the Serpentine Massacre. So I went and showed up at that. And Tim, who's been on here, sees me at the top of this thing. It's going to be just full on, open downhill style, everybody at the same time. He looks at me, he looks at my snow skate, he looks at me, looks at the snow skate. He's like, that's not a snow skate. That thing's a piece of shit. And he goes, all right, we're starting in 3, 2, 1. And I was like, what? Oh, I take off. Coolest feeling going over a sunny day over at Outback at Silver Fir, going over the top, and I'm way behind everybody. I'm on that short little ski. I was a little stunned by the fact, my snow skate was called a piece of what.
Yeah.
So I go over the top, and there's just like the coolest thing, just a field of snow skaters. Probably, I think there were 30 or 40 that year, just making turns in the sun. I'm just, rooster tails. I'm like, oh, this is amazing, right? I found my people.
Yeah.
And then it's like we start getting mortared. Man, it's just blowing up everywhere. People wiping out. Like I said, it was soft spring, just slush flying. Like, wow, I took one wipe out, got up as fast as I could, come out, and, actually posted pretty good time really on that little Danny. Did pretty good. Sure wasn't last. Let's put it that way. And that was it, man. I was hooked. And at the bottom, my friend Brian Wilson looks at me and, said, hey, not bad. And we went down to the parking lot and he showed me a real snow skate, which was this. And that's what he let me borrow that whole summer. I went to Mount Hood probably 12 times that summer, spent too much money, but had way too much fun. And so that started it. And so Lib's nice. They made that new 48. So, I mean, this old 48 of theirs is money. I mean, that used to be my Mountain Island snow skate. Like if I could only take one, it'd be that one. And now it's their new one. I don't know if people have seen that. The new 48's got a little bit of a floaty tip on it. I think you could still go both ways if you're all parky, but man, that new one of theirs is pretty nice. So that new 48 maybe now is my Mountain Island Snowskate. I had to have one that rips all conditions. The mag, the camber on that thing, the C2 or 3, whatever's on it is, that's where all the technology is, right? They introduced the technology to the sport. In fact, the technology, from my understanding, that they used to build snowskates, they said, hey, maybe we should put that on put that banana and that magnet traction onto a snowboard. And I mean, we all know what happened there. But,
yeah, for sure.
Then there's Boyd Hill, right? I got it hanging there. A big fan of Boyd Hill. My first one that I really hit hard with them was the Lord Beebe, the banana stallion. This is the fresh banana color on that banana stallion. Nice little tail on it. It's cool. Like that thing. And Lord Beebe himself set this up for me. Hard to see with the leash there, but both trucks are faced backwards. All rocker trucks, by the way. I don't know why you'd use anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my plug for them for sure. And I don't get paid. I wouldn't take any money. I'd just take another pair of Snowskates at retail price for my man Jake, because he's got to make some money keeping us happy. Deck's a little thrashed at this point, but that's a great ride. That thing floats everything. I'd show you my Rebel Lab, but that's currently in the shop. I'm waiting for a brand new one from him. But Rebel Lab is also another great floaty board like that. For a big guy like me, I weigh 200 pounds, average, a little over that right now in COVID. But that's a great ski. That thing's floaty. So is the Banana Stallion. Brennan's a little lighter than me, but it keeps you up. And a lot of the guys that are a little smaller than me and lighter, they like the Lib 50. Again, going back to Lib Tech. But man, I love that Boyd Hill Banana Stallion. I mean, that thing's money. And that's what this is. And that's why I got another one. This is a Lord B Banana Stallion model as well.
Okay, I was going to ask.
He made a new one recently that he calls the Slush Boat. It might have a different name online. I think he called it the Slush Boat to me, but that thing is nice. I mean, it is, if you can see just the full, just like super rocker on that.
Yeah.
But that thing's money. Had fun building the deck on this one, a little fish scale, super color. I do like to get crazy with the grip tape when I can. But that Boyd Hill's really nice. And then let me grab this. There's so many I got to move.
All right.
Boyd Hill's got this sweet one. Let's call this the Donger. We call it the B Rice Special.
Okay.
Rice. That one's not as rocky. This one actually got a little work by Lord Brennan himself out at the ranch. He put that thing in the torture chamber and bent it back a little for me. So I love that. Boyd Hill is just a great one.
Good people over there.
Good people. Great people there. Speaking of good people across the border, because this one's right at my feet, got to give a shout out to our boys up at Swampton, right?
Yeah.
And they are by far my favorite Canadians, along with a couple others that live nearby that will remain anonymous because we don't need to be talking too many people's names. But there's some great people up in Canada. Swampton. It's a nice chiller deck on top. Chiller. Another great deck maker. I don't know if he's making them as much as he used to. K-Man certainly, the one pumping them out maximum speed. But if you got really, really big feet, K-Man can take care of you. But Chiller was always known for making the nice wide ones for us big guys. But this was their purple people eater. You can see, I don't know if you can see this massive side. I think that's called side cut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The swoop on that thing, man. This thing goes pretty good straight, but you lay an edge on that, and all of a sudden you're turning like a Porsche. So on what is a really long board. So you can get some float, and then you can get some turn. That one's a little like the Boyd Hill Donger when conditions have to be right. If it's wet and deep, it's a little tough because they're a little soft.
Oh, gotcha.
If it's fluffy and floaty, you got no problem. If you want a stiff ride, man, I'm impressed. I've never had a Ralston until a couple of years ago. And I got this one. This is, let's give a little shout out to Robbie Kanab. That's the Robbie Kanab deck special right there.
You said Robbie Kanab?
Yeah, Robbie was the person, is the person people saw or heard about down at, what's it called? The Super Park, whatever they do every year. And he did it at Crystal several years ago. Kid was lighting it up on a snow skate. Hovland had him on videos launching parks like 3 in a row doing Christ airs of 60 feet.
Yeah.
He was lighting people up and blowing people's minds at Crystal and got really hurt.
Okay.
Great young man, lives in Buffalo, same place as one of my grandkids. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and his family again, but really good people, really good young man. Just unfortunate because he was so good and just freaking fearless.
Yeah, there was some
with super bright soul still.
something about that. Yeah, what he just overshot the.
Adrian could tell it better, but I think I've heard enough from him. No, it was a ramp that went up. It's called a step up, I guess. You got to clear a gap, and then there's a wall. And I mean, guys on snowboards that were pros weren't necessarily hitting it, but Robbie was hitting it because they were like, I don't know, man. He was hitting it, almost got it the first day, tried the second day, and the fall didn't work out as well. So he got airlifted out.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, so he's a little hurt up, but this is that cool little short one from Ralston. I don't know which one that's called, but man, that thing is playful, fast, and still it's wide enough you can get a little float for a big guy like me in like a softer slush or slightly deeper snow. But I'll show you this one is at least one. This is a ski of his, big fat master slasher. That thing's money. It's so big I can't get the whole thing into the frame, but that thing's so cool. Put the rocket ship on the top of that one because of how fast this thing goes. But that's just a money ski. It just tracks in. It doesn't want to turn.
Oh, really?
There's anything that, if you want to turn a lot, that maybe is not the best board for you, but if you want to go straight and fast,
that's it.
That thing is fantastic. So I've just really enjoyed riding all these different subs. They're so cool. All the shapes are so slightly different and have slightly different play. And so I just recommend people get out there and, especially buy them from our friends and buy them from the little guys, as I think I got it right there. Let's get close. Support builders, not brokers.
Oh, there you go.
We got these guys. We got our friends doing that stuff up at Swampton. This is Chiller Decks 161. I'd have to be like 50 feet back for this thing to get all on the screen.
Dang.
That thing's super fun. And the neat thing he did here at the tail, the metal stops there, little steps in like that. I don't know if that's easy to see there, but it steps
I can
in.
see that. Yep.
So it handles, from there to the back of my skates, not that far. That thing turns pretty well for the monster that it is.
Wow.
I wouldn't recommend it in firm, icy conditions. But if you get back after ripping the POW in the side country or back country, and you hit the stuff more torn up in the resort, that thing still handles like pretty well.
So that's the cool, that's the cool thing. There's a bunch of different shapes, and it's kind of it's just really a quiver. It's really a quiver sport. It is. So would you, I know you like that new lib, but would you say that that you own a Quiver Killer per se? No, I can never ride that 48 in the conditions that I most like to ride in. Yeah.
If the best conditions are on the hill for me that I like to ride in, I'm probably going to my Lord B. I love that thing. Like I said, it used to be the Rebel Lab because Matt down there in I think he's in Incline Village now in Tahoe area. That man can build a snow skate, and that shape. It was the first one I ever rode top to bottom at Alpental without wiping out, and I felt pretty good about that. For me, it was just the perfect shape, and he actually made a couple of them with the magnet traction on them, and that you could get back in, and it could be sketchy, and you could still ride that thing. So that thing was almost more of a Quiver Killer than the 48 for me in a way. But no, I would be really bummed if I didn't have access to all these, and I think the other thing that's nice about a quiver, right? You got friends that show up that don't have snow skates. Bam. I could get an army on the hill right now.
Yeah.
Little short leashes, but I could get at least 8 of us out there.
Yeah. Do you have any of those? You brought up Brian Wilson. Do you have any of the Wilson leashes? The anonymous leashes?
He and I are actually going to make some here pretty soon is the talk, but this one on here is, they're nice. This one's really thrashed, but it's all,
so mine.
It's kind of the fabric. It's got the bungee inside. The bungee on this one doesn't even move anymore. It's just all crusty in there. But it's kind of my favorite because they don't drag, but the Ungie Mungies, I don't know. Everybody's got their personal favorite place to put it. Some guys will lock into the middle of the board, to their ankle, to their waist, back of the board. What else we could talk about?
Yeah, let's talk
shoes.
Let's talk shoes.
Well, we've had a lot of people out chatting in the last year about shoes. You got to start with Vans, right? These are the ones. Everybody has had a pair of these or has. you can't get more comfortable in your shoes than these. I mean, this is it. If you just want to like be able to make fun of everybody on the mountain for how uncomfortable their shoes are, you make fun of other snow skaters, right? These are money.
Those are them.
If you want something pretty fly, and I don't know if they're going to make them again, but Nike made some Air Force Ones, some Gore-Tex on them. Obviously, I use those pretty good. They got some work. These actually, I don't know what Nike's doing. I've been looking because I love their shoes for snow skating, but they've got these at one point. These are like hiking boots. Yeah. These are my favorite of all time because I like to walk for my turns sometimes. I'm not afraid to do it. These things are light and comfortable, but, you know, had the tread that, you know, they wouldn't get as wet, you know, because they were waterproof versus say like the Vans. Those start to get wet. They can get pretty cold on you. Yeah. But going back to those Vans too, I've got these Vans just recently, tags still on them, super fresh.
Gore-Tex, look at that.
Fresh. So yeah, Gore-Tex Vans, a little bit higher top. To me, I was like, that's similar. Let's try it out, right? Because I can't find these. Yeah. So we'll see what they do. See how, you know, Vans comes together.
Those seem lighter. Are those lighter than the other ones?
These are light. These are lighter than these.
Yeah.
These are lighter than these. Really? Yeah. Yeah. So those are pretty nice. These are fun. I know a couple of my friends rock the Orc Nikes. I call these the Orc Nikes. They got these bumps on them, but these are super comfortable. And they unless water gets in the top, they don't get wet. Wow. That's nice too. And those are still around because I mean, they're Orc Nikes. Not a lot of people were snapping those up as quickly. Right. So those last. Nike still makes these, which I do know you can buy. They got them in like a few colors. They even got them in camo if you really want to blend into the environments. But these are nice. These are like the MBX or something. I think they sell them to cops mostly. These are nice because again, I like to hike for my turns. That's a huge, you know, top, bunch of laces. I never get wet in these. You don't wear gaiters. My own self. So I like shoes too. You don't wear gaiters? No, not usually. Not usually. I try to lock my pants, whatever, with the hooks onto them. But gotcha. Sometimes I do if it's going to be wet. But then I bought shoes like those that hopefully keep me from needing to. It's kind of that you got the shoe quiver as well. I got a shoe quiver too. Gotta be ready, dude. You gotta let me know if you do start making leashes with Brian again. I've been bugging him, like, dude. He's like, well, pay for a run of them. I'm like, okay. Well, I got you, man. I bought a bunch of the materials, so we'll set one aside for you. Oh, please do. Yeah. Got a favorite color you want? I got like purple, yellow, orange, maybe green. Dude, and I'll buy one from you too. Well, that's cool. You can buy me a couple beers. Purple, yellow, orange, green, I think are the colors I got right now. Vibrant. Go purple. All right. I got you. Husky fan. I like it. Well, yeah, my daughter needs one too. And she's, you know, so I got my 15-year-old daughter into this and nice. And so she is like stoked on it. Like we went up a few times last winter. And she's like really excited about this new season, and she's getting something special for Christmas. Nice. So, well, we're just going to keep it at that because I don't know if she watches these or not. It'd be nice if she did, but she might. She would never tell you she did. Yeah. But she might. Well, that'd be cool. That'd be cool if she did. My son got on a snow skate basically his first time and was better than me. Yeah. I mean, and that's what I figure. Like she's gonna be there because, you know, I'm getting older and she's young and fearless. So yeah, but I mean, this is it. That's the best part about all this stuff up on the hill, right? Is sharing it with others. I mean, like getting out there with my son. I got my son into the mountain when he was young, and that guy lights it up. I mean, he's really good now on his snowboard, and you know, we jumped on his snow skate, had a good time. We went up to Canada a few years back before COVID and hung out with the Squampton boys for their event, and you know, we got a tour from one of the guys, and Finley kept up pretty good. I was impressed and super psyched again to be out there with your kid on snow skates or with your friends or just anybody. And that's, you know, it's a good time. I love it getting in that whole posse full of snow skaters together. And snow skaters, they really do have a community. I mean, we like to bicker too. There's a lot of infighting, at least I don't, maybe not so much. We're all thick enough and, you know, experienced enough. And generally we're all sassy and smart ass enough to be able to take a little of what we dish out. Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's very rarely any angst or, bad will, I think, out there.
If you get an opportunity to avail yourself of somebody who has a quiver, take them up on it, because then you can try multiple different shapes, multiple different styles. Go out and ride with somebody who's a seasoned snow skater. And I don't know about you, but we love to show people this and introduce people to this, because I'm getting chills. It's like
It is good times.
It is good times.
And if you got a quiver, I encourage people to share that quiver. I lent out one of my boards last year to one of the lifties. And a month later, I got this great video from her just tearing up. Holiday, nice. Actually, but she was riding really well. Awesome. And the video ends with just an awesome wipeout. She's pushing it. She just gets just a great wipeout that her friend gets of her. But yeah, she was having a blast. And so she's kind of in the same position this year. She's asking like, hey, do you know anybody selling a snow skate? I'm like, well, I got a few I could sell, but I don't really want to sell any of them for the aforementioned reasons that I like to ride them. Yeah. But I told her, hey, you can borrow one of mine again. So, but I like to have that at some point, maybe loan to somebody else. So yeah, it's good to loan them out. I got a few loaners that I don't mind leaving out there for a week or a month or a season.
So what's your favorite event to attend?
Ooh, that's tough, man. All of them. I mean, March Madness. How about that? Right. I like March Madness. And I mean, that starts in Idaho, comes through Washington with a stop in Canada. I mean, that's glory times. So obviously I like the ones out here. Serpentine's pretty cool, man. I mean, if anybody's out there thinking they're boss on a snow skate, that's the thing to show up at and prove yourself. Because I mean, there's a reason it's called the Massacre. I had a friend go out of one of those turns, apparently, because at the bottom I'm looking at him like, hey, what's up? He's got this weird look in his eye. And this guy's a badass, man. He climbs trees for a living and cuts them into small pieces on the ground. So
I know that dude.
He's not he's not afraid of too many things, but he had a look of fear in his eye. And I'm like, what happened? He was coming around one of those turns, got launched out of the turn and up. He was like, yeah, I found out what happens when you get launched out of one of those turns. He's like, yeah, you hit the tree up high, that hurts. And then you fall down through the branches, the broken branches, that hurts too. And then you hit the ground and that hurts.
Yeah.
And he says, and your leash is snagged somewhere and that hurts too. So, it's for those that don't know, Serpentine's called that because it's the course just does this all the way down on a tight track. Not a lot of room for passing, but passing happens. So it's aggressive, it's glorious, and it's a good time. It's probably my favorite race event.
Okay.
But all the events are so much fun just because of the hosts, and it just really, the hosts make all the difference. And, Serpentine is kind of involved in this kind of community thing. And Tim, I don't know how many people have done more for snow skating than Tim, probably nobody in a lot of ways. And that's his event. So, I got a lot of respect for all the people that put these events together, because it's a lot of work, a lot of coordination, and, a lot of pressure, right? You can't just stop. You got to keep doing it because everybody has such a darn good time. You can't just give it up. So
I know. I
do give it up to all of them, and much thanks.
It's awesome. Okay. Now in this one, you might have to check to see if your roommate's around, but so who's your favorite skater and why?
Oh, wow. I don't mind saying a couple different reasons. I'm going to go Pat Daly out of the gate, man. Pat's just a creative guy. He's kind of like my boy, Eddie Murray, man. You're never going to hear Pat Daly talking about himself or talking about he's this or that. He's going to avoid the interviews. Yeah, he's going to come out and post Hall of Fame numbers, and nobody's even going to know he did it, because he doesn't care that they do. But what's he going to do? Like Eddie Murray, he's going to hook up all his friends, be a good guy, give people pointers and all that kind of thing. If you ever ask, he's going to look out for you. So in a lot of ways, Pat, I mean, there's been a lot of really cool pictures, and he's just got a certain way of his style of holding his arms that I seek to emulate without stealing, in a way. And then, nice. I mean, I think I like watching both the young riders here at the Pass, Adrian, who is my, essentially he's my housemate. He's got his own door, and we don't, we share a separate or we have separate spaces, but we
not a roommate. I'm sorry.
We got a food elevator up and down. I run food down to him.
That's not what I
runs
meant.
food back up. Yeah. So, but
you know what I meant.
I do.
All
he's a great one. I think that I love his flow. He is so flowy. His style is so flowy. He's super creative.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Adrian does stuff that I don't know if you saw anybody else do it or if he just makes it up. I think he just makes it up. He's got a lot of cool stuff that he does. He's a great photographer. So I think that is good. I mean, he made that really cool movie. If people haven't seen it, it's just something, the rubble something, reclaimed rubble. Great Snowskate movie about the birth of snowskating, and that's one to watch for those out there. He's got a great flow style. Rhino Waldbillig, I call him Rhino. That kid, he's fearless too, man. He goes for big air, and he lands more and more of it.
Yeah.
But when he starts landing a lot of it, and he will, that's going to be something to watch too. So I love watching the two of them ride together because they push each other in different ways.
Yeah.
So I like watching the youth getting up. You know what I mean? If we had to go right there, then, my kids are my favorite snow skaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Each of them have their own that I gave to them. And actually Finley won his at the Serpentine because he before he'd actually been given one. That's what I mean. Like the first time he got on one, he's better than me. He won the Serpentine Massacre on a snow skate. Yeah. I'm just like, what? And then he went out and there was a park set up over at St. Barnyard, or the Barnyard St. Bernard at Alpental. They set up a little park, and he just goes through first try ever to clear a gap jump on a snow skate, sticks landing.
What?
I'm like, God dang it.
I know.
Like, he's going to be way better than me, right? He's miles beyond where I ever got on a snowboard. So it's just a matter of course. And I think that's the cool thing about the youth, right? They're going to surpass us. They're going to do stuff that we're like, whoa, that's cool. I never thought of that. Never would have even tried it in my best day. Right. Some of that stuff. So that's cool. There's other, I don't get to see him enough because he lives in Colorado, but Paul Elkins, I like to watch the guy ride. I like his style. But man, he posted a couple runs in movies a kid down from California put together. Sean Young, is that right? Sean Davis put together, and I can't remember the names of those, but man, there is one of him just like running out an avalanche and still launching in air. Yeah, he's post stuff too. He's draw snow skates, I think now.
Draw snow skates,
and
was
he just launches big stuff and sticks it. And he's old man Army. I don't know if he's quite 50, but I know he's damn close if he's not. So that gets back to it's a sport for all ages, really.
It is.
So I hope to carry it into my 70s. I want to still be out there in my 70s making turns. Maybe even compete in the over 70 division at Serpentine.
There's gonna.
But
does that exist?
Not yet.
Not yet. It will though.
Right? We all got to live long enough and ride long enough. But yeah, it's such a fun community out here, snow skating, and just the mountain in general usually has pretty good people on it. So I
definitely miss well, thank you for saying that. I definitely miss the pass. And we've been talking about Snoqualmie Pass, by the way. Just outside of Seattle, and it really is a little slice of heaven up there. And I'm sure that the more it depends who you talk to, right? But it's not the way it was back when lot 4 was the spot, or what was that, lot 3, right? Lot 3.
Yeah, they still are both the spot. Apparently there's some rumor that lot 3 will be closed out for I don't know what, that they're not going to allow people to camp there anymore.
But before they turned it into a campground, it was like the overnight lot and the party spot. And it was, that was an era, right? That was the 90s era.
Good times.
Something special, and
it's still good times. There's still a lot of community, like you said.
And you can still, the cool thing that I find about it is that I don't live there anymore. I'm in Idaho now, and I travel back, I traveled back and so I missed. So I went for the Serpentine Massacre, And then I got there and I found out the serpentine dates had been moved. so so they moved the dates. So I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah, that sucked.
I'm still got, okay, fine. But honestly, look, this is the way I looked at it. Okay. I didn't get to meet up with all the people that I thought I was going to get to hang with, but that would have been majority of, would have been socializing, right? Yeah. I'd have been doing some snow skating, but it'd been socializing. So instead I got 2 days of just snow skating, right? So I just took advantage of it,
In good conditions,
went over to Alpental and shredded, and then spent a whole day over just doing my cross country runs that I love. And one thing that I didn't do, and you were talking about, you like to hike for your turns. And so when you said that, I thought of something, and this is something I did a few years ago. And I was wondering if you'd ever attempted this. So, and it's nothing special, but so I started at West and I skated from West all the way to Hyack, and which is East, I guess. Yeah. And so what I did is and I'm not sure what the chair is on West, but when I got to the crossover trail where they met, I hiked. So I got, beauty of snow skating is you can just jump off and hike, right? You can just walk. There's no unstrapping, and you can drag the board behind you if you don't want to carry it. So I hiked up to where 60, up there, and then skated down and actually went over, did the crossover
all the way to
trail.
Central Express. Yeah.
Yeah. And then went, and then did the cross country, the high cross country over to basically comes out right where the serpentine is. Yeah. Pretty much. And that was a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but yeah, it's pretty cool because you really can. You can ski or skate from one side of West all the way to East, and then all the way back from East to the other. They call it I-90. A lot of the, little paths that can get you there. So that's kind of cool. You do have to get in a car to get over to Alpental, but I've done all 5 base areas in one day. The 5th is tubing. I finished with a tubing session at 9:00 at night.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, with the kids. So I hit all 5 ski areas in one day, and that was pretty fun. Had to happen once.
So next time you do that, you got to get in your car and go over to the little what's the other little thing over by East? That's like the
snow park.
Yeah, the snow park.
Hit the snow park too. Just so when that down.
Yeah, when I first got, so I was living in the castle with my wife. You know where the castle is.
Oh yeah.
And with Victor was actually
nice.
our roommate. And that's how I really got exposed to snow skating. Was Victor just had a ton of snow skates around. And so I looked all over town for a snow skate, and I was only able to find a Danny Cass, which is really funny that you'd start on the Danny Cass as well. And God, man, when I think back of like, dude, I was at Alpental, like riding this Danny Cass.
Yeah, it's like, basically just your back foot the whole time.
Oh my gosh, dude, I just wish somebody would have said, don't get that one. Get the bigger one. It's just you need a bigger deck. You need a little bit bigger.
But then you would have missed out on some turns because you would have had to wait.
Even
if it was one day, you still made the right decision.
And I still have it, and my my daughters ride it and stuff. Of course, now they prefer the bigger ones. Even my little 5-year-old daughter would, she'd rather ride the bigger ski. It's just the little Danny Cass stubby.
Nice. It's perfect for somebody that's small. It's not perfect for somebody over about 140 pounds.
Yeah. So I missed out on getting one of those dog. What was that guy? Oh shoot. What was that guy? Dog something.
I don't know.
Pre-dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any pre-dogs either.
So I missed out on getting a set of pre-dog trucks because you can adjust them.
Yeah, that was a cool feature.
And
did your
and
Danny
that-
cast come with the original bent metals? Did you trade
Yeah.
those out right away, or did you just ride it on the bent metals?
Oh, I wrote it on the bent metal, so
Yeah.
I've got a crack in my.
If anybody out there that's
But-
listening doesn't know about trucks much, you cannot ride your bent metals. You've got to swap them out for something with a fulcrum that allows some flex front to back
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah,
This is
and
like
then-
riding a piece of wood. But I did that with my Danny Cass. I put trucks on it. That made a big difference. I was like,
yeah.
oh. And then I
See-
got, a real snow skate for a guy my size.
See, I think you were more in the scene. You more had you had people around you kind of giving you a little like, what's up? Like, hey, put these on there.
But it was, I mean,
Maybe.
sort of, it was intimidating. I remember trying to figure it out. Like the first person I asked was the first person that I saw on a snow skate. So I came out of the backcountry one day after going to the right of a tree when my friend went left, and I ended up in a bad place. Right. And so I was pretty upset with myself because I had a couple little kids at home. Obviously I lived, but
Yeah.
it was not a comfortable 30 or 45 minutes dealing with the situation. So I'm all upset with myself. Literally that day, as I'm riding back to take another run, not the same run, I see a guy come down on a snow skate. I'm like, wow, that's what I need to try. That looks pretty fun. I should get one of those. And I stop and I'm like, hey, what is that? And Scott Chappell tells me a little bit about it. And so
dude.
I'm down a week later in town. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go by Sturm and see if they sell any of those. Go in there, they had one Danny Cass left. I'm like, no way. I'm like, do you have any others or just this? He's like, that's the only one. So I buy it, went out, and then realized about a month and a half later, after my first serpentine, I saw the Chapel again. I'm like, hey, so that thing looks pretty sweet. I like your deck. And he's like, oh yeah, it's a chiller deck. You got to call this guy in Idaho. Trucks, you got to call Jake. He's down in Seattle.
Yeah.
And then the ski, you got to get from LibTech. You got to try to get on the website or give him a call, sometime, or whatever. Right. Or maybe it wasn't even a website at that point that he directed me to, but like, that sounds calm. Oh, and then you got to get your leash from Brian. I'm like, wow.
Right.
Right. You can't just go and like look online and buy a snow skate back then. You can now. That's a little more easily. And I think if I remember right, Lib's actually selling them with rocker trucks, aren't they? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think they are, which is a huge upgrade. And again, rocker trucks, they're fantastic. I think they're the best. So
Just
like
play
I said, I got a
Snorter
bunch
with
of snow
Jake,
skates. They've
actually.
all got that on it. And if I'd had the pre-dogs, that would have been fun to have a pair of those adjustable. But I hated messing around with them. I just wanted to have, instead of messing around with one and having to take a deck off or take a sub off, I just wanted to be able to pick up a different one and ride.
Right. Well,
You don't want
the
to take
reason,
15 minutes at the car when there's good snow out there.
yeah, right. That's why you have
Right.
multiple setups.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
The reason I brought the pre-dogs up is because with the Danny Cass deck, to put a little bit bigger sub ski on it would be better for like the little kids. That's, and I've got this Lib I got from Jake. It's like a
39.
It's, I don't know, there are only a couple of them made or something, and that would be perfect size. Like it's perfect. It's tailor made. I don't have the trucks to make it work. So it's what it is. Hey, so I've got some bonus questions I've been asking people. I know we've been going long. I hope the audience has been enjoying the Snowskate banter. I know I have.
Me too. I like talking snow skates.
Yeah, dude. All right. So these are some bonus questions here. All right. So what is a skill that you haven't learned yet? Wait. What is a skill you want to learn but haven't learned yet?
Ooh. Probably go and switch more on a snow skate. I'm just, 53. The windows for opportunity for learning that are late spring when it's really slushy. So I'm not going to get broken, because when I get broken, it's much longer to come back.
Well, and that's the whole
So
season
I would love to get better at that. So that's one. Just be able to on a snow skate would be really cool. The one that I would love to do but won't is get really good at park. I just, again, for the same reason, I got to be able to walk, do my job. I got to be able to, use the body to make enough money to still pay for the things I need for a while.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of other things I want to do, but maybe I'm just soft, but I'm just, I break too easily at 53.
Oh, that's
going
okay.
into the park too hard. But I will pad up, and I gotta get good at least riding boxes. I don't need the rails. I don't need to take a rail to places that aren't supposed to take rails, but I am ready to get on some boxes at least. So I won't stay out of the park entirely.
Right
I
on,
would
right on.
actually, I mean, yeah, I would love to land a solid big gap jump too on my snow skates someday, especially now that my son's done it.
Yeah. Now the
Guess I just need
pressure's
more
on.
yoga.
There you go. Hit Dre up. All right. So if you were living in a tribe community, what would you offer the tribe?
Well, snow skates, obviously, and snow skate shoes. Wow, what would I offer? And maybe the occasional campfire ukulele music. What would I offer? I am really good at coordinating people and facilitating stuff and managing chaos. So, and leading as a servant leader. So, I've chaired different things along the way. Planning commission on Mercer Island for 7 years, got reelected a couple times to do that. I can help people get through complicated situations, even personal ones, and get to a place as a team or a group where we made solid progress and we've solved whatever problems we needed to. And
Nice.
One of the reasons I give the other people the credit, I don't need the credit. I at the end, I'll summarize, if I'll let everybody share their thoughts. I'll summarize and maybe offer a couple, like, am I hearing this might be the direction, and then kind of put it back up. It's just, that's probably what I'm best at. And then I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I'm kind of a guy where, like, I won't be able to fix your car, but if I was on Survivor, I'd definitely be the guy building some pretty sweet shelters and stuff out of whatever I could find. So,
right. All right. So what would you expect from other members of the tribe to contribute, maybe top 3?
What you mean? I think if you're looking at that, these are great questions and definitely catching me off guard. I like this complete segue from snow skating. Exactly. I think that, for me, it all comes down to love. That's why I like to lead the way I just talked about. I want to lift people up around me. And so I think just that to do that at all, people have to respect. I mean, you got to have respect for each other's human decency and just their space and, to exist and to be uplifted. So just respect. And then, I go to love, man. I got love for everybody. And so I think that's important, man. I think it is really important that people share love. Whatever you share comes back multifold. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it does, but you just keep doing it because that's what you do. And I think that's important. And then just communication, right?
Yeah.
Communicate, talk stuff out, figure it out. I mean, I guess cooperation and communication.
Cool. Cool. All right. So here's one that's even further down.
Love it. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So if the system that we're all dependent on collapses tomorrow, what would be the first thing that you would do?
Ooh, talk to my neighbors. Probably wouldn't be able to call my kids at a far distance. So I'd hope they were somehow magically visiting me at that time. Checking with my family and my neighbors, hopefully like my wife and everybody be up here. Take stock. I mean, I've got decent supplies. Got, some of the things that people think of first when they think about what should you have in those situations. Just checking with the neighbors. Hey, what do we got? What's the plan here? How do we, make a community, make a tribe? Because we don't know how long we got, right? And then look, usually if that's going to happen, right, something happens. So you check in on the neighbors, make sure everybody's okay. We had a bad windstorm when I lived on Mercer Island that kept us out of power for 2 weeks, trees on top of people's houses. And, I went around to help get stuff done with the neighbors to, especially check on the elderly and make sure they had all they needed. Yeah. And they were the ones who were like, we got all we need. Basically, they were the most prepared. They appreciated the check, but they were prepared.
Yeah. They were like, what do you need? Buddy?
Yeah. So, just, check in with the neighbors and build a plan there. But I think, I've got good access to clean water up here, even in that situation. So, that would be my first thought is water, right? And, knowing I got a couple pretty clean streams nearby is helpful.
Cool. Adam Cooper, so great to have you on the show, man.
Thanks, Drew, man. I really appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to chat with you. It was fun.
Thanks for joining us on the chat today. Check us out at Brain Aqua. Here's where you subscribe to us. Here's a video we think you'll like.